Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Saturday, January the 20th, and welcome to our video commentary. Obviously, the big topic today, this Saturday, this whole weekend, is this shutdown that happened on Friday night at midnight. And I have to tell you that I didn't think it would happen. I know that there's always a lot of posturing and a lot of he said, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But I really thought at the end, that they would figure something out. They would figure something out, and at the very least, do another continuing resolution. Which, by the way, I'm getting tired of that. They got to figure out some way of doing these budgets on time. But anyway, that's another topic. So at the very end, the Democrats decided to shut down the government, and they're doing it because of DACA. And I'm sitting there asking myself, is this possible? Is it possible that the Democrats are that tone deaf that they would shut down the government over DACA? Now, I find it very interesting. You might say, well, I'm a partisan Republican, and that's why I feel that way. But you have five Democrat senators, West Virginia, Missouri, Indiana, North Dakota, Montana, as well as the new senator from Alabama, Mr. Jones. Six Democrats who decided not to vote with the leadership. I guess for the same reason that I don't like what the Democrats did. They didn't want to go home and explain to their constituents that they voted to close the government on behalf of DACA. That just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And I don't know who's giving Chuck Schumer advice, but I think he made a very bad call last night. This is a blunder on the part of the Democrats. Now, I happen to be one of those who supports a solution for DACA. I believe that under the right arrangement, you can legalize some of these so-called dreamers. Not all are going to be legalized. I'm not talking about a path to citizenship. I'm simply talking about some way of legalizing or creating some kind of a status for some of these dreamers. I mean, look, if you were 3 when you were brought to the United States by your parents, and you've grown up here, and you're 20 years old right now, and you've been in Texas or whatever all your life, I'm not going to hold it against you that your parents brought you across the border when you were 3. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you citizenship, but I am at least going to provide you with some kind of a legal mechanism so you can stay in the United States, and maybe further down the road, subject to some behavior or whatever, and performance or behavior, you can apply for citizenship. So I'm not against a solution to DACA, but this is ridiculous what the Democrats have done. In fact, I think the Democrats have actually hurt DACA, because this has left a very bad taste in the minds and mouths of many people who were probably open to a DACA solution, but may not be at this point. I saw a tweet, I should say, earlier today from a military mom who said, if they're going to take away my son's pay because of DACA, I'm not supporting DACA. And I bet you there's a lot of people who feel that way, who feel like, hey, come on, this is not something to shut down the government. Now, as I mentioned in a previous commentary, I think that both sides do deserve some blame for these annual shows where they come down to the last minute and they cannot figure out a budget. They've got to figure out some way of doing these budgets, and it may very well be eliminating the 60 votes so that you can at least pass a budget and not have to live with all these continuing resolutions. So you may want to consider that, eliminating the 60 votes for these kinds of budgetary situations. But the bottom line is that the Democrats have decided to play ball or play hardball with DACA. And I just think it's it's a blunder. I don't really know why they're doing it. And, well, I think they're going to have to live with the consequences. I do believe this is going to backfire. This is going to backfire on them. And it may be already doing so. If you listen to Chuck Schumer, at least what I've heard this morning, he sounds pretty crazy. And I think that he may be reacting, and what we're hearing from people is that there's a lot of Democrats who are very unhappy about doing this and doing it over DACA. Again, there is a solution to DACA, and I'm all for it. I'm all for a solution to DACA. I'm all for coming up with a solution to DACA that has border enforcement and a few other things to go with it. But this is not the way to do it. Big blunder by the Democrats over this. Thank you for watching. We have all of these commentaries over at YouTube. We also have them on Twitter, and we have them at my blog. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.